The video was 37 seconds long. That was all it took. 37 seconds of me sitting in what looked like my living room, looking straight into the camera, saying, "I did it. I took the money. I thought no one would notice. My voice, my face, my bookshelf behind me." It was uploaded at 14 a.m. By 6:30 a.m., it had over 200,000 views. By 9 a.m., I was suspended from my job. I didn't know the video existed until my sister called. "Why would you post something like that?" she asked, breathless. "Post what?" She sent the link. The title read, "Local Finance Director Admits Embezzlement. I worked as a finance director for a mid-sized nonprofit. We handled grant distributions. Transparency was our foundation." In the video, I looked exhausted, guilty, resigned. I moved small amounts at first, the version of me said. Just testing. The detail was chilling. Not vague, specific. My hands were folded the way I fold them when I'm nervous. The lighting was accurate, warm lamp glow from the right side of the frame. Even the framed print on the wall was there, but I had never recorded that, never said those words, never taken a cent. The upload account was anonymous, no history, no followers. Yet within hours, it was everywhere, clipped, captioned, shared. A local news site embedded it with the headline, "Finance Director Appears to Admit Internal Theft." Appears. That word should have helped. It didn't. At 10:12 a.m., I received an email from our board chair. "Effective immediately. You are placed on administrative leave pending investigation." Pending. The word echoed. I drove home early. My neighbor's curtains shifted. By noon, my LinkedIn inbox was full. Care to comment? Is this true? Disappointing. Disappointing, as if guilt had already settled. The first thing I did was check my home security logs. No unusual entries. No camera activation. I checked cloud storage. No suspicious uploads. I even checked my trash folder for deleted files. Nothing. The video was a fabrication. But it was seamless. I called a digital forensics consultant. She watched it twice without speaking. "High-quality deepfake," she said finally. "How can you tell?" I asked. "There's slight micro-expression latency around the eyes," she said. "Most people won't notice." I didn't even notice. I whispered. That's the point. The background wasn't lifted from a static image. It was dynamically rendered. "The bookshelf?" I asked. "Likely scraped from your social media," she said. "You've posted photos in this room. I thought about every harmless picture I'd ever uploaded. Birthday parties, work from home days, coffee mugs on the table, enough raw material. Can you prove it's fake?" I asked. She hesitated. "I can demonstrate inconsistencies," she said. "But proving a negative is harder than proving authenticity." Harder? Because the video felt real. By afternoon, something else happened. My bank app flagged unusual activity, not transactions, risk status. My account displayed reputational integrity under review. What does that mean? I asked the representative on the phone. Automated credibility scoring systems aggregate public data signals, she explained. Signals like what? Media exposure, legal mentions, social volatility. So because of a video your trust index temporarily decreased. Trust index. I haven't been charged with anything. The system reacts to trend velocity, not verdicts. Velocity, meaning speed mattered more than truth. At 4:17 p.m., I received a notification from a service I barely remembered signing up for. Civicard Rating Update. Civicard was developed by Veritrust Systems, marketed as a voluntary reputation aggregator for employers, lenders, and partners. My score had dropped from 812 to 463, below standard reliability. I stared at the screen. The breakdown cited Public admission video unverified online discourse escalation community confidence decline. The internet had decided, and the algorithms followed. The nonprofit's internal audit began immediately. They found nothing. Of course they didn't. There was nothing to find. But absence of evidence isn't the same as restoration of trust. During the emergency board meeting, one member asked, "Why would someone fabricate something so detailed?" I didn't have an answer. That was the worst part. Without a motive, suspicion floats. Maybe there is something. Maybe it's not random. Maybe. 2 days later, a second clip surfaced. 12 seconds long. In it, I looked frustrated. I knew the oversight was weak, the deepfake version of me said. That's why it was easy. It was stitched from the same base model. More confident this time, more specific. The comments were brutal. Caught. Finally admitted. People like this ruin charities. My sister stopped answering my calls. My mother cried and asked if I needed a lawyer. I already had one. He explained the uphill climb. Defamation is difficult when the content spreads anonymously, he said. Can we force takedown? We can try, he said. But every removal attempt amplifies visibility, the Streisand effect. Even denial becomes signal. The forensics consultant prepared a report. She highlighted inconsistencies in shadow depth and blink synchronization. Technically persuasive, she said, emotionally irrelevant. What does that mean? People believe what confirms their fear. Fear travels faster than correction. On the 4th day, something shifted. A podcast host invited me on to tell my side. Transparency is key, he said cheerfully. I declined. Anything I said could be clipped, re-edited, reinserted into another synthetic confession. Meanwhile, my Civicard rating continued sliding. Under risk watch, my credit card company reduced my limit as precautionary adjustment. An insurance quote I'd requested was withdrawn. My life was responding to a lie in real time. Not because courts decided, because systems reacted. Late that night, I received a private message from an unknown account. You're not the first. Attached was a link to a forum. Dozens of posts, teachers, managers, small business owners, all with fabricated confession videos. The pattern was consistent. Initial upload, rapid amplification, automated credibility drop. Financial consequences, some recovered, some didn't. One post read, "It's not about proving innocence. It's about surviving the gap before correction." The gap. That window between accusation and resolution. Algorithms live in that window. We traced the upload server, overseas, disposable hosting, anonymous crypto payments, no easy target. My lawyer suggested a public counter video. A real one. Look into the camera, he said. Explain it's fake. So I did. I sat in the same living room, same lamp, same framed print. I said, this video circulating is a fabrication. I have never taken money. This is a deep fake. It felt desperate, defensive. The comments were split. Damage control. He's doubling down. Why does he look nervous? Because I was. Being falsely accused triggers fear. Fear looks like guilt on camera. A week later, the forensic report gained traction when a national tech columnist covered the story. Rising deepfake targeting in mid-level professionals, the headline read, mid-level, not celebrities, not politicians, people like me. Low enough profile to lack resources, high enough to matter locally. Gradually, the narrative shifted from confession to possible fabrication. Possible. Another word that should have helped, but certainty never fully returned. My Civicard score crawled back to 612, still below baseline. My employer reinstated me with a statement, no financial irregularities found. They didn't say innocent. They said no irregularities. Language tightens after doubt. Months passed. The videos still exist in archived corners of the internet, cached, reposted occasionally. Search my name and they appear on page 2, not gone, just dormant. The most unsettling part isn't the fabrication, it's the speed. 37 seconds rewrote my life for weeks. Not because people examined evidence, because automated systems reacted first. Trust index, trend velocity, confidence decline. Digital reputation is now a living metric. It fluctuates, it updates, it punishes, long before truth stabilizes. I used to believe identity was internal, defined by action. Now I understand it's also statistical, a score, a composite of signals. And if enough signals spike at once, reality bends. The video of me confessing was perfect. The lighting, the tone, the hesitation in my voice. It just wasn't real. But for a while, the world treated it as more real than I was, and that was enough.